All right, grade 4. We are doing chapter 7, lesson 2. So make sure that you have gone through your jingles. Jingles talks about the 8 parts of the speech. And of course, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go through classifying a few sentences together. So we want to make sure that we're asking the right questions and getting the correct answers. And then, of course, in the end, hopefully you'll be ready for your worksheet. And I'll go through a few of the things about the worksheet before we get to the worksheet. So the first sentence that we have to classify is, are you going to the rodeo today? Who's going to the rodeo today? That first question you would ask, and that's you, and this is a subject pronoun. Let's choose a nice bright color. Subject pronoun. What are you doing? You are going. Remember, we talked about helping verbs. Helping verbs. And that's is, are, was. There are a few more. Were. That's a helping verb. So we have helping verb of are. And then we have our verb as going. This is the first time you've seen that set up. So it's a little bit different. And then we continue to go down our sentence. It says to, and we know that is a preposition. So to, we start our prepositional phrase. And to what? To the rodeo. There's our object of the preposition. And we have the, which is an article adjective. And today. So what rodeo when? Rodeo today. There's an adverb. That's the when, how questions that you would ask. And so now we have our sentence classified. And the next question we see is that we end with this. We have a question. So it is an interrogative. Okay, and of course we are a subject noun. Verb pattern 1. And now separate the subject from the predicate. This is a little bit different. And underline the complete subject. It's you. Underline the complete predicate. And you'll notice that this one's different. We underline the are because that's a verb. That's a part of the predicate. Okay, so that takes care of our first sentence. Let's move on to the next sentence. The first question that we ask is, what stopped after a few days? Well, cough is what stopped. This is a little tricky because you might have thought it was sisters, but it's not. It's a cough we're talking about, not sister. We're talking about a cough. What did the cough do? Cough stopped. That is your verb. After is a preposition. After what? Days. That's your object of the preposition. How many days? That's an adjective question. Few. And then a is an article adjective. So there is your prepositional phrase in there. Now we go back to our subject. Whose cough? Sister's cough. Oh, we have a possessive noun adjective. Remember that from our last lesson. And we have my, which is a personal pronoun adjective. So PPA. Again, we have a period, and it's a declarative sentence. We have subject, noun, verb, pattern 1. Separate the complete subject from the predicate. Right over here, the complete subject is my sister's cough, and it was stopped. We double underline our complete predicate. Don't you wish your pens could do that? Nice straight lines like that. And we have finished our sentence. Let's move on to the last sentence. Wow. That little fish swam bravely past the hungry fish. What swam bravely past the hungry shark? That was a fish. Subject noun. All right. And what did the fish do? The fish swam. There's your verb. Swam how? Bravely. That's an adverb question. Past. That is a preposition. Past what? Past the hungry shark. So the shark is the object of the preposition. So we can put our bracket there. What kind of shark? It's a hungry shark. That would be an adjective. Whoops, let's try and make that neat. That would be an adjective. So now we have an adjective on there, and then the, which is our article adjective. What kind of fish? We have an adjective. Which one? That fish. That's another adjective. Wow is our new one as well. It's an interjection. Remember those with the exclamation marks usually? That's an interjection. All right, so we have our sentence classified, all of the words labeled, but we have an exclamation mark at the end, so it is an exclamatory sentence. And we have to separate the complete subject from the predicate. Here we go. And it's a little bit trickier because the complete subject does not include the interjection. And so here we are, double underlining the complete predicate. Oh, that one wasn't as straight as I normally do. There you go. Nice straight line. The next part of the lesson that we're looking at are homonyms. Homonyms, and I'll highlight this for you, are words which sound alike but have different meanings and different spellings. So blue, did blow. Blue, a color. Buy, to purchase. By, near to. Sent. So these are all in your book, and it shows all of the different words that you could actually spell wrong. Here, look at this. To, and to. To means toward, and it's a preposition. To, denoting excess. Too much. And to is in the number two. So you can get your twos mixed up, and this one too, your. Owned by you, and your is a contraction for you are. Okay, that's another one that gets messed up. It's ownership pronoun, and it is a contraction. It is a contraction for it is. So this is kind of tricky because you are going to be looking when you do your homonyms, and I believe that is in the practice. You're going to have to, the classroom practice, you're going to have to go through the homonyms and make sure you have the correct one. So this little handy dandy sheet here will likely be able to help you if you're stuck. And that you can find in your book on page, let me look at this for a second, page 186. I'll write it right there so you can see it, page 186. All right, the next thing that I'd like to move on to, if I can find it, is your, there it is, classroom practice. So remember to classify your sentences very carefully. I want to show you something. The list for sentence one, okay, so you're going to be looking for the nouns, right? And nouns are going to be things like what's being talked about, right? So say kite would be a noun, right? And maybe this guy might be a noun, or this guy might be a noun. I'm not going to tell you, but the types of nouns that you're going to have are an object of the preposition or a subject noun. And my hint is that you might have two OPs over here. That's a little hint. Hopefully you've watched that far. That way you know. All right? I want to see you get that right. When you go to exercise 3 and you're working your way through exercise 3, I want to point out several things. You got to underline the correct homonym. And remember I showed you that picture that had all of those different homonyms on it. Make sure you have page 186 open. Another thing that I'm going to show you is when you get to this section here, it says use a slash to separate each run-on sentence below. Okay, where should we slash? So the puppies ran around. You can see you can break it there. Now, the other thing that you want, what it wants you to do, is it tells you that they want you to create out of that a sentence with compound verbs. And so when you look over there, ran and rolled. So we need one sentence over here, and it has to be compound. All right. He came to dinner. He did not eat. You can see that we can split that, but it wants you to use the conjunction in there. But. Okay. And the next one, we're going to have a sentence with compound subjects in there. So if you are having trouble splitting this all the way up, make sure that you go into your textbook and look at reference. This one is reference 103, and that is on page 185. Make sure you check that out. All right, and the last one is when you're working on this one here, look for 3 end marks that are missing. That's periods. Okay, how can you split this up into 3 sentences? When you have it done, it's easy just to cross it out. Cross it out. Cross it out. All right, when you're finished, send me a picture or